man, let me go ahead and ask you about Manny Pacquiao, man.
Manny Pacquiao?
Yeah, and Ryan Garcia.
Manny Pacquiao, legend. Time to retire, I think.
Oh, come on. You gonna say it's time to retire too
Oh, it's
now?
time to retire. It's time to retire. I've,
Really?
come on, man. I'm 39 years old. He's been involved in like half my life now. Come on, I'm ready to go right there. Ryan Garcia. I don't know whether to call him or his dad a dumbass.
You just do not like Ryan, do you?
Well, okay.
I mean, we've done a few shows on Ryan, and you have never really been too positive about this young man.
I don't like the man because now, so full disclosure, the bullshit coming out of either his dad or his mouth, whichever one it is, to get the hell out of the boxing sport at 26 is the same equivalent to being a fucking pump and dump stock.
Are we talking stocks now today?
He might as well be a stock. And he's treating himself as a stock, which is bad for the sport of boxing. I'm sorry.
So you trying to say he's Dogecoin right now? Or is he Bitcoin?
No, more like the Big Short, man.
You are just so upset that he just want to get paid and get out the game.
It's bad for boxing. And if he sets the precedent for other young fighters to do the same shit, boxing's going to suck. And you know it.
Boxing already sucks sometimes.
Boxing already kind of sucks sometimes. Once you start taking out some of the young cats and start thinking the same game plan, it's going to fuck up the sport. I can't say it anywhere. F up the sport. It's going to F it up.
Man,
you know it is.
Okay. Let's come back to that, right? Let me ask you this. If Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao actually fought, how do you think that fight would go?
The way they're talking, someone's going to treat this like an exhibition, even though they might, if they both agree to it being an exhibition, one's going to treat it as an exhibition, the other one is not. Someone's going to renege. It ain't going to be Pacquiao.
Oh, Ryan Garcia switched the game up. He said it's not going to be it. Well, you know what, though?
He's been back and forth all over the damn place for like about a week.
Hold on. I got some notes here. Before you came over here, I wrote some stuff down because I want to get your opinion on this stuff here. So, Eric Gomez came out on Saturday, said no fight now.
They're all over the damn place.
Yeah,
they're all over the map. All of them are.
Yeah, right. So Eric Gomez, for anybody checking this out, watching, he's the number 2 guy in Golden Boy. He's been down with Golden Boy and Oscar since day one. Mm-hmm. It was actually Eric Gomez and I think Richard Schaefer were the original 2 guys with Oscar. Eric Gomez, I think, is one of the matchmakers as well for Golden Boy. So he came out Saturday and said, no fight. But you may like this one. Mm-hmm. Him and Oscar and Bob Arum were talking this week. They feel Teofimo should fight Ryan Garcia after he gets his mandatory out the way next month or 2.
Here's the thing that's going on right now. I wouldn't mind that fight, but all of it has to be suspicious as hell and all pure speculation because all this has been happening now since the Campbell fight. It's been pure speculation with everybody he can get a name out. He said every possible name out there, but Errol Spence, and that's next. That's next. If you were talking Pacquiao, Spence is not that far out of his mouth.
I got Spence in a moment here. I wrote some things down because I wanted to get you. Cause you're just heated. I know when it comes to him, you just get raw
because he acting stupid as hell. Honestly, God, it should not be allowed what he's trying to do. I'll tell you why. Because if my boy Edgar Berlanga did the same bullshit, I'd be pissed as fuck too. I'd be fucking furious because basically any young and up and coming fighter that you feel good about, hoping that he has a long career about, could consider doing the same shit. And that would just suck. That would just suck. That would just suck for the sport. Yeah. So basically, what you're going to be left with is a bunch of hand-me-down veterans and stuff that are looking to make a payday, and there going to be no paydays left for anybody.
So here's what I've noticed this weekend when Eric Gomez said no fight. So he talked to Bob Arum. Like, we're thinking Teofimo Lopez, which would be a big fight, too. Mm-hmm. If you went Teofimo or Tank, which was the original line for Ryan Garcia, right? Sure. So then, after that, about an hour later, Ryan Garcia said, no exhibition fight now. I'm not in this for exhibitions. We're doing the real thing here, and the deal's done. He said him and Manny agreed to everything. It's just a couple of things outside of them. So Ryan, again, is sticking it to Golden Boy. When you did not know about Ryan Garcia was about a year plus ago when I brought it to your attention to him when he was still a prospect. Yeah. Technically still. And how he fought his way to get more money from his guarantees from Golden Boy. Because he proved that people watch him fight. The ratings come in and boom. So he's able to get more minimums for a person of his stature in his earliest career. So now he's saying the money is done. Oscar and Eric are holding this up, but we're going full steam ahead. I thought that was interesting, like literally an hour later. They came out with that. I mean, like they're going back and forth. Social media has been hot in boxing lately. And because of that, now we got one side, the business side is saying, we want Ryan Garcia against Teofimo Lopez. Ryan Garcia is saying, I want Manny Pacquiao. Then after Manny Pacquiao, we'll take Tank. And then what you're saying, maybe one more fight after that, and then get out the game and then do some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, Ryan and Golden Boy are not on the same page again. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think the fight will happen? Because it's going to be whatever's going to happen. Golden Boy makes more money off a Manny Pacquiao fight than they would against Teofimo Lopez. The thing is, though, that if he gets that Manny Pacquiao fight right away, that his career is going to be over soon.
Yeah, no. At this point, he hasn't fought in 2 years now.
Let me add another thing for Manny. He hasn't fought since he beat Keith Thurman to win the WBA title. So because of his inactivity, the WBA stripped him.
Yeah, that I think was crap because you had 2 years to strip him anyways. Now you decided to strip him when it was
convenient
and very convenient.
So let me just add all the stuff that was happening like Friday and Saturday behind the scenes. It makes sense now when you see people talk on social media and everything come to play. So when we talk about him not calling everybody but Spence, well, then the WBA strips Manny, saying that he's champion in recess right now. So that any given time, kind of like the WBC's version of the franchise champion.
Sure.
So it's like, hey, anytime you want to come back and fight for the title, you can skip the line and you can go after that, automatic mandatory. So that automatically elevated, what's the guy's name? His name is Yordenis Ugas.
Mm-hmm.
I felt he beat Sean Porter a year and a half ago. It was a split decision win for Sean Porter.
Sure.
Sean Porter's, I'm not even giving that dude a rematch. It was a hard fight.
It was a hard fight that he probably didn't expect.
Honestly,
I remember that fight.
I honestly felt like if you turn the volume off, you can score that fight for you guys.
Yeah.
I really felt that he won. I thought Sean Porter had lost his spot to fight Sean Errol Spence because of that fight. So now that he has been elevated WBA champion, what happened on social media next? Errol Spence, whenever I know he's going for a belt, people, the common theme is strap season. Mm-hmm. He says, it's strap season. So you got something I want right now, because he was going after Manny. He was going so hard. It was Manny and Terrence Crawford. Since Manny got the belt now, so you guys, it's strap season. And you're like, hey, I'm right here. So we're looking at probably an April or May fight for Errol Spence to go against you guys. He's going to grab that WBA belt. He's going to be, I'm not even going to be like, it's going to be a tough fight. He's going to win. And then he's going to have all 3 belts except for that Terrence Crawford belt at WBO. So that's the reason why Ryan Garcia ain't called out Spence.
Not yet.
That was a long about way. I know I did that, but not yet. But
not yet. But
his whole Manny Pacquiao created a trickle effect by not fighting. He loses the belt. You guys gets elevated. Now Spence and you guys going to have a unification fight now. That opens the door possibly for Manny to do an exhibition fight or Ryan Garcia or a real fight, because we heard exhibition, we heard a real fight. But I don't know if the WBA would sanction a championship fight with him when he just won his first belt at 135. It's an interim belt. You can't really say that he's a 147 legit contender. So WBA really had to strip the title because they could not say this is going to be an optional defense.
What's one stuff is that the whole 2 years there, right? And part of that probably is Spence getting that injury from the car accident and stuff like that. Though. So that didn't help at all, right? So if there was a fight, the probably would have happened sooner and stuff.
I think that there probably been a Manny Pacquiao fight. If no COVID and no car accident, we probably could have had that fight. But the way Manny's acting right now, he's on his Floyd remix version, but he's still being a professional fighter because he ain't fought in 2 years. So I'm not saying he's still fighting, but he's looking for every angle to make money without really fighting. Like, one thing I have to say, and I'm not trying to bash Manny, he is horrible at business. His business acumen is bad.
Well, he's a bad guy.
And I'm gonna explain it.
Well, he does, and his handlers don't help him at all.
No, he is bad because he hires bad people.
Oh yeah.
If you're a boxer, you're the CEO of your business. You are the brand, right? Like Floyd's a brand, Manny's a brand, and we can name that you're the company. You're the CEO. That means you need to hire the right people around you so that your company, you can be successful. Once again, now we can go do another episode about Manny Pacquiao's bad business, because I can talk 2 hours on that. It makes no sense you being in the game this long and you still ain't got it right. But he hired a new management team. Mm-hmm. New management team, the same management team as Conor McGregor. That's why you heard all the rumors about him and Conor McGregor fight, sure, right? Here's the thing, though. This team has never worked in boxing before. Once again, he's hiring amateurs who never even worked in the sport. Same thing happened with his longtime advisor. I can't think of the guy's name. I
remember the guy, but he was a leech.
Yeah. Bob Arum hated him with a passion. If you look up anything of, I think his last name started with a K. Conscious, I think his last name.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. He's not even a boxing guy, and he gave Manny Pacquiao so many bad deals. Like Manny should be making more money. Like Manny's doesn't have money he should because he's such a giver. He gives money away to his his family in the Philippines. He gives so much away. Also, he's just not good at business, and he hired bad people. And now this new management team is the reason why the Conor McGregor fight didn't happen. If you don't have people who are specialized in that area, how are you going to expect good results when you've been doing this for so many years and you're not even giving the direction for them to do this right?
Yeah.
So that's why the Conor McGregor fight didn't happen. I think that Dana White may have been behind the scenes in that too, because Conor ain't been fighting in the MMA, but MMA gets a cut out of that because they're on the promotional banner. So I would think that if he had better people working around him, that fight would have happened. So no Conor fight. So then he goes next to Ryan Garcia and trying to do this fight now. Since you don't have the true boxing people behind you, we're seeing what Eric Gomez and Oscar's doing right now. I think that if he was still working with other people, maybe he's working for Bob Arum, this fight could happen without these issues in the public right now. I'm just stating the fact that Manny's bad at business. He's always been bad at business. Let's go back to 2006 when Oscar gave him the briefcase of $200,000 and ran off with it, and came to find out he was still under contract with Bob Arum. And then he had to pay double out of his promotional fee because he was so wrong in the deal that Oscar was getting cut out of Manny Pacquiao's promotional deal with Bob Arum for the next 3 or 4 years because he took the cash and ran. Thought he could get away with pull a fast one and act like he couldn't speak English afterwards.
Exactly. Well, bad at business. Then they said, like we mentioned about before, the handlers he had. So Michael Conch, that's his name.
Michael Conch. Yeah, I know it's right in the last name.
He was a leech. He was a leech. Yes. He was a leech in his career and stuff like that, though. So at the end of the day, when you're already a nice guy as you are, have trouble saying no, right? And then offering to give anybody and everybody whatever free dollars you have because because you happen to be a nice guy. You're letting people take advantage of your situation, of who you are and your generosity.
But now you're in your 40s now, and you're still making the same mistakes. Exactly. That's where I have a problem with it. Manny Pacquiao is a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest fighters of all time. Dude in the ring can do things marvelous when he is set. I just can't get it that you've been in this game since 95, and you still can't hire one person right. And the one person you didn't may have right was Bob Arum. It's just the fact that you had the wrong people, where Arum did not even respect the people you work with, where he probably didn't he gave you good deals and great deals. Probably would have been a little bit better if he had better people around him.
Yeah, believe me, Manning's on the list of, not just fighters, sports athletes who have had a bad run at money because they've spent it unwisely, put in the wrong investments. I mean, we can go to Antoine Walker in the NBA.
Oh,
I mean, there's others.
It's sports.
Believe me, especially but in boxing, typically, even in boxing, you can go to Tito Trinidad. I mean, there's guys
wait a minute. Is Tito broke?
There's reasons why he fought Roy Jones. So
I didn't follow Tito that way, but of course, guy in that age, you assume like, hey, they bought their money, but I didn't pay attention enough that if he had money issues as well.
I believe at this point, Miguel Cotto, another Puerto Rican legend, he's doing a lot better with his money than I believe Tito did when he was near the end of his career. And I think a lot of that had to do with I think kind of a similar personality, bad investments, but also, kind of had your hand out, very generous to the people around you and stuff. So I believe that's what a lot of that was for Tito and stuff. Okay. Miguel, at the time he was building up his promotional company and stuff. I'm not sure where it's at this point. I know COVID did a lot of damage to a lot of up and coming fighters and their promotional stables and stuff. So it's I haven't followed his stable to see where it's at. But I mean, at the time he was putting on those fighters out in Puerto Rico and stuff. So that's where you're hiring your talent from the island, and you're sponsoring your talent, you're promoting your talent on the island and hoping for them to essentially make it into up in the ranks and stuff. But Tito was bad with his money. I'm not surprised. Most boxers tend to be bad with their money. We can even go back even more Puerto Rican greats like Benitez. No different. I mean, it's just it happens. I think if you're usually good with your hands, you're usually not good with the other stuff. True. So it matters a whole lot who you hire, and sometimes it kind of sucks who you can't trust, whether it's a good handler. I mean, it can even be your own family that will just just take it out from under you, show you one face and take it out from under you the next. So boxing is a tough sport in that regard. So I'll say this, with Mayweather, with Floyd, he did a good job of at least deciding where in his career he needed to at least start focusing on the business aspect of his career. while he was still boxing, right? His boxing, he never lost focus of his boxing, but he definitely started having eyes on the second phase of his life, second phase of his business. And, and for that, much props to him and stuff. So that's.
And I want to say this last point that we're going to get back to why we started. Of course, it goes back to him and Ryan Garcia. But here's the thing too with Manny. He just signed with Al Heyman. So that's why he got the fights with Broner and Keith Thurman.
Sure.
Right? If there's not one person, I'm not trying to be a Al Heyman fanboy, but if you're a boxer, can you name me, not even a boxer, me and you love boxing. We follow the sport diligently. Have you heard any fighter, past or present, current, whatever, say anything bad about Al Heyman?
There's nothing bad to say about him because how can I say this? He's definitely not Arum. He's definitely behind the scenes. He definitely keeps a low profile. Mm-hmm. And I think when you keep a low profile, you do, especially in life, you tend to stay away from rumors.
Yeah.
Rumors, any, in the public spats, you're trying to avoid that stuff, right? You're negotiating from behind the scenes. You're negotiating in the conference room. Well, in the conference room, within the conference room, mm-hmm. right? You have your group, but you're trying to keep that conversation so minimal. You want nothing to leak out and stuff. So in a way, I do like how Al Heyman runs his business. You don't want as many leaks coming out as possible. You want to run a tight ship and stuff.
Right.
And the people around you are thinking the same way he thinks. So that I do give Al Heyman credit for.
And how many outside of Adrian Broner, but he's still actively fighting. Mm-hmm. And I know he has his money issues, but it's not because it's things that he's been doing that's been well documented. Mm-hmm. But I don't know any current fighters or past fighters right now who are crying broke right now who's been with Al Heyman their whole career. But like I mentioned in one of our first shows, the only fighter currently fighting that left him was Daniel Jacobs. And it made sense for him because Al Heyman didn't have any middleweights or super middleweights that can give him the big money fights. And then that's when the Zone came in, and then Eddie Hearn basically, like I said, overpaid for Danny Jacobs. And now that his contract's up, he might be going back to Al Heyman now. Mm-hmm. Al Heyman has paid all his clients handsomely. And I looked at what Manny Pacquiao signed with Al Heyman. I'm thinking, Manny's going to get his paydays fine. He got the big payday of Floyd, but he's going to get paid the end of his career. And he left again, but he fights Ryan Garcia here. This is another big check. That's at the end of the day. Like I was watching Max on Boxing on Friday, and people were asking questions. Like Max answered it honestly. He was like, "Why would Ryan Garcia fight Manny Pacquiao over Tank Davis?" And Max said it perfectly. Yeah, he may not do anything personally for his boxing career, but his bank account will be bigger. Yeah. Point blank. Period. So I understand being the pure boxer fan. I don't want to see him fight Manny Pacquiao. Know why? Because Manny Pacquiao ain't the same Manny Pacquiao. He ain't that killer no more.
Exactly.
So even if Manny Pacquiao was up and he was winning, he ain't going to put him away. He doesn't do knockouts anymore. He takes his foot off the gas and goes for the victory. So if you're Ryan Garcia, you're not fighting the best Manny Pacquiao possible because A, he's in his 40s. B, he ain't the killer no more. So you got to worry about him taking you out. And C, if he knew he had the least on the coast. So it's the least amount of damage that you can take in a fight. Unless, except for you fight Tank Davis, who is trying to put you to sleep. Manny's going to put punches in bunches and knows when he got the lead, he's going to take it off the gas, take minutes off the rounds, and then go to the 12 rounds. Tank is trying to put you down.
To me, the Garcia Pacquiao discussion is kind of no different than when Floyd and the McGregor were in the talks and stuff like that. Though that's kind of the equivalent, right?
It is.
To me,
you're right. I agree with you
because it actually wouldn't be that far off from being one of those type of fights, the celebrity boxing matches and stuff. It wouldn't be that far off from that feel. So to me, it does no favors for the sport of boxing. No. It does no favors for Manny, except for whatever for the bank account for Manny. And for Manny, it makes sense. At this age, if you can get one more paycheck, paycheck.
But that's the thing about, once again, bad Manny management. Because if they were smart, they would have found a way not to let Conor McGregor have that fight the other week.
Yeah.
Because there is no boxing fight for Conor McGregor right now. The way he got put down and was knocked out in that second round. And now they're talking about he's doing a rematch probably in May or June. He wants to do a quick turnaround for the trilogy, basically. But because of this now, he's out of the picture now for that big payday. If you are a smart management team in MMA, you know that a loss can happen at any time. Boxing, these guys calculate, how Floyd was perfect for his whole career. You can manage certain things. MMA, you can't manage it the same way. So you have the right management, and you hired Al Heyman, then you leave him, and then you might have this big money fight, but with the inexperienced management group, you screw it up again.
Yeah, no,
and so that's why the Ryan Garcia fight comes in. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah. I just have to say that Manny's money problems once again, Manny's management, But what do you think with Manny and Ryan? Let's say that the fight does happen.
I
know you want to hear that.
At the end of the day, I can't be interested in a fight where basically the boy is facing his, would
his
be
idol.
We find that
it's idol. It is. I mean, come on. If you was in a boxing with Manny Pacquiao, any fighter,
you'll say whatever you got to say to sell a fight, to make some money. And
Manny was he wasn't even born when Manny was fighting early in his career. That's how long he's been in the game.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
You can still beat the crap out of your idol. It happens. Look at Larry Holmes and Mike Tyson. I mean, and Muhammad Ali. Larry Holmes was a sparring partner for how many years, and he's still to this day considered Ali his idol, even though he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
even remember you heard the classic story when Ali was in the back room, and I can't remember if it was like Dinah Ross that was massaging him, and then he had the Tony's like, he's like, man, why'd you beat me down like that?
I remember that.
But hey, people beat down their idols all the time in boxing. It happens.
Yeah, but so here's a couple of things that tells me with this fight too, right? If Garcia is willing to go up to fight Pacquiao, you can tell he's basically, like I mentioned before, he's no different than what I would consider a pump and dump stock. He's pumping himself up to get his money, and he's getting out. To me, it's still bad for the boxing sport. For your paycheck, I get it, and I'll have nothing else more to say than that's pretty much what it is. It's a big money grab. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's bad for boxing, especially if he says he's going to get out the game by 26. Say all that is true, and that it does happen. Anybody who was watching him for boxing is going to feel disappointed by the fact that that's really what all it was, right? It's one thing to watch boxing follow Oscar and his career and stuff, because Oscar carried boxing for a long time, right? As a boxer and as a promoter, and now he's still not carrying the sport anymore the way he was as a promoter, but he's still in the game. But the point is that when you think boxing, you can't think boxing without the name Golden Boy, without the name Oscar De La Hoya.
True.
And if you're being billed and being sold, whether through social media, through your promotional company, through other outside influences of what your star is, it's basically, you got a bunch of boxing heads, especially from the mainstream boxing heads, who want to follow this guy. They want this guy to be like their meal ticket for the next 15, 20 years, because they got something to cover for the next 15, 20 years. He leaves at 26. He's not their meal ticket anymore. They're already looking at it. So anybody who's in the mainstream who is hoping for this fight is also trying to cash in before he leaves.
True.
And that to me is a shame, because at the end of the day, I would want, at the very least, a realistic point of view of to what you see. Nobody can tell me and think this is good for boxing. Good for their pockets, yes. Yeah. But good for boxing as a whole, no. No. I mean, it happens once. You're basically setting the blueprint out for any future TikTok pretty boy fighter
there you go,
to do the exact same bullshit.
When we go to these fights and we ringside, they gonna hate you.
You know what? I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm sorry. TikTok's for the dumbasses. Just as me.
Oh wow.
I said that out. Yeah, TikTok's for the dumbasses.
I want everybody to know, for the BNP, our BNP folks. When you throw them darts, them shots, you go after this man. You don't come at me. You get at me, you go at him.
Wait.
Okay. So
talk to me.
Let's say there's no Manny Pacquiao.
Sure.
Because that's what, at the end of the day, Oscar and Eric Gomez can stop it, which they're trying to do right now. They do hold the card saying, no, we're the promoter. We can steer the ship, or Ryan can start a fuss here. But let's say that Manny fight does get scrapped completely. They find a way to get into his heart and say no. Do you want to see a Teofimo Lopez fight with Ryan Garcia or Tank? That's what's on the table now, because he's fought so much for the Tank fight now. That Tank was on social media, was pissed off about the Manny thing. But now this week, you're seeing them talk about Teofimo. So as a boxing fan, from where you're coming from, you love both of those options now. Where do you want to go with that? Knowing that there's no Manny now, let's steer to this direction now.
If he cared about his career, and I've said it before, if Ryan Garcia cared about his career, He'd wait for those fights to happen, work on the things you need to work on in your career. You don't hire Reynoso. Basically, you're just giving Reynoso a free paycheck if you're trying to get the hell out of there by 26. If you hired Reynoso, you're giving the impression as a boxing fan, you're some shit I have to work on. So you are basically a conflicting, you're just a big mess. You're a mess of mixed messages to anybody who follows the sport for what the hell you want to do with your career. With that said, of course I'd want him to fight Tank. I'd want him to fight Teofimo for the only simple reason, to get his ass kicked, to get humbled. That is it. That is really it. They're going to give him the smoke, and it's going to be good, and I'm going to love it. But if I'm telling him, if I'm in his camp and I'm trying to give him the right advice, you tell him no. Work on your craft, get some other fights in, work your way to Davis. He'll be there. He ain't going anywhere. Lopez ain't going nowhere either. You can work your way to. You're not ready for those fights. Those two guys are ready for each other. You're not ready for those two fights. Come on, man. That's so. So again, selfishly, just so he can get his ass kicked, yes. As if I was a manager in his career or in his corner or one of his handlers, just wait, kid.
Okay, so we'll see what happens here. But because of all this, I'll just recap this here. We literally had a trickle effect here. WBA said, "Hey, you know what, Manny? We taking this belt. You can fight for it anytime you want to." I don't think he is, because let me close out. Let's call a spade here. You guys is gonna get smoked by Spence. He's a good, tough fighter.
Yep.
I'm going to compare him to Caleb Truax, who we'll talk about on our next show, or but depending on whenever people watch this episode here and this episode. He is a good, polished fighter who I think is a journeyman who got elevated, got his got a title. He was a regular, now he's elevated to super, but I just see Spence is on a whole nother level now, and it's going to smoke him, get that belt. That's the one slope. And then the welterweight division kind of gets settled in, because I don't know if you noticed, so many boxers are trying to be undisputed now. They at first belts didn't matter. 1 or 2 and they're cool. Everybody wants all 4 belts now. So we're going to see that happen, and then hopefully we'll see the dust settle with Ryan Garcia, because let's just call a spade. I know you don't like him for the things that he's doing, but the boy can fight. For what we've seen right now, he can fight. It's just the fact that we want to see him now against the top guys, and how long he will be in with the top guys. But he has proven that you can put him in the ring of anybody and he can hold his own, and he is a betting chance to win. It's just the fact that he's turned so many people off because of his attitude and his personality, and he wants things now instead of waiting for it. It's the, people say it's a me now type of thing. But we may, depend on how that goes, we may see Teofimo or Tank. I want Tank, because he talked up Tank so much, especially on Mike Tyson's podcast on Hot Boxing. Mike Tyson, they called him on FaceTime. Talk about perfect promotion for a fight for 2 young fighters. Mike Tyson, legend, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. I still see that. No matter what you think, he's still one of the greatest. Of course. To broker a fight where you get them both on FaceTime on your podcast, and they're both talking shit, and it's dope, and it's good commentary, and it's a good buildup. I want Tank first. I love Teofimo. It's just the fact that Ryan talked up Tank so much. That's what I want.
The thing with Garcia, and I'll give, like I said, I'm going to show credit for coming out of that knockdown and recovering. If that was Tank that had knocked him down, he ain't getting back up the next time around.
No,
if it was Teofimo,
me and you on the same page.
If he had gotten knocked down, he ain't coming back. That round's over. That fight's over. So the kid's got, like I said, power. A shitload of things he has to work on. He's got no defense. I know the defense,
but he can fight.
He to me,
he needs work on his head movement. We can break down the things he needs to work on. True.
So at the end of the day, when you are getting in the ring, everybody, to me, I always assume anybody can fight. Is what you can do from one fight to the next to kind of get better at it. And he didn't look like he got better. He didn't get better from the fight that I talked about previously when we previewed the Garcia Campbell fight. He didn't look good in that fight, and if that fighter was even stronger, he would have knocked him down then too. Campbell wasn't that great. It was a good fighter, but wasn't this knockout type of guy. If it was Davis, it was over. If it was anybody else with more knockout power, it was over. Once he got the way he got knocked down, he survived. He took it to a fighter that wasn't putting the pressure anymore that he needed to.
Let me put devil's advocate on that and continue your point. Sometimes a guy take a knockdown the first time in their career and get it, and then the way he wins can do wonders for their confidence too.
Look, it does wonders for his confidence, but at the end of the day, he needs to be able to. If you can't go 9 rounds, basically, and that's combined, like the 4 fights he had before he fought Campbell, 9 rounds without correcting the things that went wrong, and you still came to that and got knocked down, and now say you come to your next fight, whoever the hell it is, and you still doing the same shit. I'm sorry, you're not lasting long. So if he fights Davis, believe me, if he fights Davis or Lopez next, they're going to give him that work. If he doesn't change anything, he's going to get that work.
I know we have different opinions on certain things. I agree with that. Let's just be 100. If Tank touches him in the same spot that he touched Santa Cruz, it's a wrap.
Yep.
Same thing with Teofimo. If he lands at that same spot, it's a wrap. I'm just saying that once you're in the ring now, he proven that he can take a punch and get up. I'm not saying that Campbell is a world beater like we thought, but he's a good fighter. Like I said, and he took it and got back up, and he came back for the body shot for the knockout. I'm just saying that as much as many flaws that he has, he does have a chance.
He always have any fighter in the ring.
It's not going to be a blowout. We can't assume that anymore.
Any fighter in the ring will have a chance. I mean, one of the things that I learned from Arturo Gatti is that no matter how many times you get freaking knocked down, he'll come right back up and knock. I mean, Gotti's one of those guys you learn off of and say, you know what, you never give up. You never say a fighter's out. He's never out until the bell rings. But and again, any true boxing fan who saw that Garcia Campbell fight and saw that knockdown had to have came to the same conclusion that myself and David are talking about. And if that was the top 2 or 3 fighters in that weight class, they will finish that job off. Period. There's no way that fight goes the rounds that it did. So I just take it at that level, right? Garcia got knocked down by that ranked fighter at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's very, so it's easy to kind of like, you can kind of exponentially look at, hey, if that was a fighter 3 times the class that Gamble was, no, he's done. He's done. So if that's maybe one reason why Garcia wants to get the hell out of 26, he's like, I can't take it. I don't have the chin for it.
Let's just be honest though.
He might be the next Amir Khan, guys. I'm telling you, Glass Joe, Glass Chin. He might be him.
Well, Khan is still fighting. There's a difference. Well, Khan loves to fight, even though he got he's Glass Joe.
Khan's got some fighting skills still.
Hey, you know what though? At the end of the day, you gotta respect Amir Khan. He knows he got a glass chin, but he will fight anybody.
He's got a glass chin, but at least the guy can move his damn head too, though. At least he can fight in angles. And he knows how to move. He knows how to move.
Wait, are we actually complimenting Amir Khan in this podcast?
There's one thing.
I never thought I would do that.
Hey, I can always accept a fighter who has a glass chin, but if he's got other things aside of having a bad chin, if you have a bad chin, you have a bad chin. But if you're still fighting in the game and you're still kind of sort of winning, that means you're doing something right. Right. And he was a former champion as well, right? So when we joke about him
we joke, but he is a damn good fighter.
Yeah, I mean he
not a Hall of Fame. Not everybody can be in the Hall of Fame, but I actually bought some stock in Amir Khan about 10 years ago.
His best fight was still against Maidana, and Maidana at the time was young. It was young in the welterweight ranks and stuff. But I mean, Maidana needed another 30 seconds, and he beats him in the 12th round.
Let's be honest here. Like, Khan does have a glass jaw, but he proved that he only has a glass jaw against bigger guys he shouldn't be against. Because Maidana, as powerful was, he came back. He said he needed 30
more seconds. He took a body blow knockdown, and he needed 30 more seconds to finish him off.
Still got back up and finished that fight, and he won that fight. It wasn't question. You can't say, well, Maidana, like I said earlier about you guys and Sean Porter. No. It was a close, good fight that we knew that Khan had won. And if they had another fight, you could say that Maidana could have got him the second time around. But as much as he had a glass jaw and he's been knocked out, the dude can fight. And when he fought guys to his skill level, guys didn't really floor him like that except for his first knockout at 140. When he went to, Canelo, what do you expect was going to happen? You go to 160 and you're 147 your whole career, and Canelo walks around at 180.
Oh, Khan went for a payday. Khan went for a payday. And no different when Kell Brook went up to face Triple G.
Same thing. Yeah,
you're skipping basically a weight class, 2 weight classes to get there.
Yeah. You can't get anybody in welterweight, so you're gonna go 2 classes up and get that nice little check. Maybe you got like 10
payday, take a year off, and then you get back to your normal weight class.
Unfortunately for Kell Brook, though, he got his face broke.
Literally. Triple G was breaking faces at the time.
Yes, he was. We're gonna end this one off here. I wanted to do this quickie here to talk about Ryan Garcia and Manny Pacquiao. So there is still a possibility the fight could happen because Ryan is not corresponding to what Eric Gomez is saying. For anybody listening, if you follow the timelines on social media and all the reports being leaked, Eric Gomez said no. An hour or two later, Ryan Garcia's and Manny on their own time plan saying that, and he's promoting it. So if the public wants it and he's still going against it, we could see that. If Eric Gomez and Oscar say no, and if they can find a way to get the tank off the ground, or like they said, Teofimo Lopez, that would be one. Would I watch the Manny Pacquiao fight? Of course, I would still watch it. I'm just not happy about it. But preference Tank Davis, then Teofimo, and then I guess if we had to settle for Manny, then that's boxing.
I think the public doesn't want it. I think the TikTok fanboys or fangirls that will want it, those dumbasses. And then the establishment, and the establishment guys that are dick riding them for as long as they can. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking for it. I probably wouldn't watch it.
Hot takes for Jorge.
I wouldn't watch it.
You see, I got my hand on my head. This is hot takes by Jorge.
Can you get that bird whistle going there? Get that bird tweeting there?
No.
Come on. I want to hear it, man. Come on. There we go. No, if you're gonna leave me out on an island by myself, damn it, leave me with the seagulls. What the hell?
Or crickets.
Crickets in this case, yep. But I'm not looking to watch the fight. I'm not looking to watch it. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you're standing on this hill.
I wouldn't pay it.
Even though we are doing a boxing show, you're saying that if this fight happens, you're not gonna watch it.
I wouldn't pay it. Because at the end of the day, I can't be here bitching about it and then go against everything that I'm saying. It's I'm being a man on my word at this point. If I'm saying I'm not going to watch and I think this is bullshit, I'm not going to watch it. You tell me all about it, Dave, but I'm not going to watch it.
I'm going to tell you all about it, of course.
I'm not going to watch it because at the end of the day, I know.
I'm boxing all day, every day.
I know when
I watch the exhibitions. I watch the fights. I watch Butterbean. Yes.
You did not watch no damn Butterbean.
Saturday nights. Anybody knows who watched Butterbean, but he fought on NBC on Saturday nights. Yes, I will go there. I did that to you, Jorge.
I watched Butterbean then.
I am your conscience.
I watched Butterbean. I did. I watched 1 or 2 fights of Butterbean. I gave him a shot. I thought it was entertaining to watch a really, really big wide man box and stuff.
Knocking everybody out.
And knocking everybody out.
And then average Joe's just trying to get in there. Trying to punch that belly in the body. You can't punch that. Your punch is going right through that belly like he's slob.
It was it was almost boxing.
Let me stop on that.
Boxing comedy relief to some degree.
We gotta stop here. I can't go. I'll go 20 minutes on Butterbean. Let me stop now. I've watched so many Butterbean fights. I can say that, Jorge. Look me in the eye.
I believe you. I believe you.
No. Don't look here. Look here. Look here. Here, you see me? Look here. Here, boo boo. Here.
Butterbean. You Butterbean.
We're gonna
secret lovers.
We're gonna end this.
Used to be.
Let's end this here, people. So if you guys checking this out, let us know what you think. Do you want to see Ryan Garcia against Manny Pacquiao, Teofimo Lopez, or Tank Davis, or you just want to see him go away completely like what Jorge thinks?
I don't want him to go away. I just want him to go away the way a natural boxer would. Fight the guy that you're not supposed to be fighting yet because you want to be selfish and greedy and dumb, and you get yours handed to you.
You said it again. I didn't say that, people.
Hey, look, Garcia camp. I'm telling you, you're not ready. You're not ready for Davis.
Ooh.
You're not ready for Lopez. You're just not.
On that note, Jorge's hot takes is going to close this out here. I am that dude named Dave. This is Jorge, who does not like Ryan Garcia. Do you have one more thing to say about before I hit this out here? I mean, really.
Catch my show live_dominoes on Twitch TV on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 8 p.m. I'm still trying to figure out a couple things with the schedule. There might be some schedule changes, but I will keep everybody posted with that. Live_dominoes, Twitch TV, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 8 p.m.
And on that, I will say too, click on like and subscribe and the bell notification below so you can get the new episodes here for Boxing Out Podcast. And also on Spotify, you can check us out on just click follow Boxing Out Podcast. And from that, I don't think I have anything. Oh yeah, Jump Off Live. I'm on that on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Central Time. So check us out there, 8 p.m. Central Time on YouTube, Jump Off Live. So on that note, we're going to end this here because we'll talk about Butterbean. We'll talk about Glass Jaws and everything that we said we were going to talk about that we're just going to keep going because that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Garcia, you're not ready.
On that, Jorge saying Garcia's not ready. So on that note, people, for the BNP podcast, I'm that dude named Dave. I got Jorge here, and we out of here.
See you, folks.
Ryan Garcia haters out too.
Hey, they're with me on this one. Hit the like button, guys.
Hit the like. We're out. Take care.
Jazzy.